Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. مرحبا بكم في قناتي English Homeschool لتعلم اللغة الإنجليزية لجميع المستويات. Today in this video we're going to be reading a short story called The Greedy Milkman. اليوم في هذا الفيديو سوف نقرأ قصة قصيرة بعنوان الحلاب الجشع أو الطماع. We're going to practice listening, pronounciation and vocabulary. سنتدرب على الاستماع والنطق بالإضافة إلى المفردات المتعلقة بهذه القصة. إذا أردتم تعلم مفردات جديدة متعلقة بالقصة ابقوا حتى نهاية الفيديو. And now let's get started. So this is the short story that's called The Greedy Milkman. And the main characters of the short story are Henry and his wife Nancy. ومن الشخصيات الرئيسية لهذه القصة لدينا هنري وزوجته نانسي. إذن لنبدأ بقراءة هذه القصة ونتعرف على الأحداث التي تدور حولها. Once upon a time, in a small village, lived Henry and his wife Nancy. Henry is a milkman. Henry and his wife owned a cow shed. The couple used to take care of all their cow. They fed them good hay and nursed them well. Due to this, all Henry cows would produce excellent quality milk. Everybody in the village would only buy milk from Henry. Henry and Nancy earned well and led a good life. But despite that Henry was not happy, he always dreamt of buying a big house and expensive clothes. Henry told his wife that I saw a big house on the outskirts of our village. We must buy that. We need a very expensive car and many servants to serve us. We will wear the most expensive clothes. After that, all these poor villagers will envy us. Nancy said, "This greed will take you nowhere. We earn enough, and we should be happy with what we have. This is our livelihood." Henry said to Nancy that, "Not for long, mark my words. Someday, I will be the richest man in the whole village." The next day, as Henry went to sell milk, the villager would praise him. The villagers used to tell Henry that this milk was very good and healthy. "You must be taking such good care of your cows." Henry told the villager that yes, I do, but I will sell all those cows when I get rich. I do not like the smell of cow shed in my house. The villagers said that, "But these cows are your livelihood. You shouldn't complain about your work." Henry got very angry on hearing their words and left without saying anything. Henry was in a hurry to earn more money. He would often try to find a way to become rich. The money that Henry would have received from selling milk would have been very little. In the greed of earning more money, he decided that he would sell more milk. Being in a small village, he could not sell more milk in that village. Henry decided that he would go to the neighboring village and sell more milk and earn more money. He was overjoyed at this, but more cows were needed to sell more milk, and Henry did not have the money to buy more cows. On the way home, Henry was thinking about how to increase the quantity of milk so that he could sell more milk. Henry thinking, what if I add some water to the milk? This way, I won't have to buy another cow, and at the same time, I will be able to sell milk to the neighboring village. The villagers happily bought milk from Henry and paid him the same amount. Due to the added water, there was more milk left with Henry, which he sold in the neighboring village. That night, Henry was very happy. Everything Henry thought was happening. That day passed, and Henry became now richer than ever. He bought himself a car and renovated his house. He was so used to mixing water with milk that he never even thought of buying another cow. As the demand for milk increased, so did the water in it. This went on for weeks. But then the villagers started to notice. There was chatter in the village regarding the new watered milk. Want to know the truth? Some villagers gathered outside Henry's house. The villagers told Henry that the milk you sell us tastes like water. Henry, we pay for milk, not water. Henry said to the villagers that you all cannot appreciate the goodness. I work really hard. Go buy from somewhere else if you don't like it. I don't need you. Henry went inside the house and slammed the door. The villagers were stunned by Henry's rude behavior. Knowing that something was not right, they all started planning to find out the truth. The next morning, Henry walked towards the river as usual. He opened his pot half full and filled it with water. But little did he know that the villagers were watching him. The villagers understood the whole thing and decided to teach the greedy milkman a lesson. The next day, he bought a silk shirt. On his way home, it began to rain. Water washed away all the color of his shirt. When he reached home, he realized the shirt was not made of silk, but jute. He angrily went to the shopkeeper and said that I have paid for the silk cloth and not the jute cloth. The shopkeeper said that in the same way, we gave money for milk, not for water. If you don't like it, buy it elsewhere. Each time Henry went out to buy something, he used to bring something different every time. Henry was so busy thinking about himself and his greed that he didn't realize he had done the same thing with others. Over time, even the neighboring villages began to complain. Slowly, everybody stopped buying milk from Henry, with no money left to spend. Henry began to sell off items which he had bought out of selling low-quality milk. Now Henry is a poor milkman. He had only a handful of cows left and only a few houses in which he could sell milk. After all this, Henry began to realize his mistake. If Henry continued selling good milk the way he used to, he could have bought a bigger house and an expensive car. All what Henry had to do is keep his patience and continue working hard. Henry didn't just lose his money, but also lost the respect and trust of the people. Henry knew now how dangerous greed can be. He learned his lesson. From that day on, he never added water to the milk and stayed happy with what he earned. Now it's time to learn some vocabulary. الآن حان وقت تعلم بعض المفردات المتعلقة بالقصة. Are you ready? Cow shed. Cow shed. Hay. Hay. Outskirts. Outskirts. Envy. Envy. Livelihood. Livelihood. Servants. Servants. Greedy. Greedy. Neighboring. Neighboring. Chatter. Chatter. Renovated. Renovated. Overjoyed. Overjoyed. Goodness. Goodness. And that was it for today's video. If you liked today's story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next time.